Right everyone, welcome back to Weekly Retro, and as promised in my last NES Quest, the part 4 video, I'm going to repair this NES I picked up here. As you can see, I've got two cameras here, I've got my webcam, and in the top left, I'm going that way, is the capture card. So you're going to follow this journey with me because I've not actually tested this yet, so I don't know if it works or not. The advert said it was spares repairs, so it probably doesn't work. But that is the goal for today. We're just going to try and clean it up and get it working. I might reshell it today, I might not, but the first goal is to get it working or not. Again, this is you following me along with this journey. I might not be able to repair it, depends how far it's gone. And for whatever reason, I have shown you this in the other video, but if you've not seen the other video, it's got a little weird switch on the front that doesn't do anything. As far as I can see, it doesn't feel like it's even attached anymore. So, right, let's start anyway. I have already plugged it in. If you can see, I've got the connector to that side. So the front of it is facing me, but you know, as this video goes on, I can rotate it and you can see what's going on. I'm not a professional, by the way. This is a disclaimer. I am a hobbyist. So, you know, just follow me. I'm going to show you my tools quickly, actually. All I need for this one probably is some isopropyl alcohol. As you can see, there's I mean, it's a bit bright in my kitchen, so isopropyl alcohol, you can't see me properly. There is a toothbrush, an old toothbrush, don't use any relative toothbrushes, and a really long Phillips screwdriver. You need a long one to get into the bottom of the NES because it's a pain in the bum otherwise. And this is my best screwdriver for the job. So let's kick off for this. Right, so as you can see, again, the catch card is there to my left or right. I can't tell at this view. You can see everything backwards than I can, so. Right, let's have a look. There is a game in, by the way. I put Super Mario Bros. 3 in. And by the looks of it, we're getting nothing, a bit of a grey screen. You can't see this, but I mean, I can show you. If you look at the light, it's just doing the flashy reset light there, you can see there. Right, so that's not going to work. I normally have a bit of a fiddle with it just to try and, you know, move the cartridge up and down, see if it'll come on. No, nothing. Right, okay, let's take this apart. First of all, you need to take the game out. Banging game, actually your best game on the NES, Super Mario 3. And I'm going to, let's take it apart. First of all, make sure you do unplug the power because that would be very silly to leave that plugged in while you're undoing it. And just, let's take the AV cords out as well. You might have to bear with me because my laptop has got 3 webcams plugged in. Well, it's got 2 webcams plugged in, the internal webcam, the one you're looking at here, and a capture card. So I'm not sure it can cope today, but let's just start by taking this apart. I don't know if you can see that very well. It's a tough angle to show you this. But there is actually 5 screws. There's 1 in each corner. Well, there's 6. There's 2 there, and I can't remember if there's one under the access hatch. I don't think there is. Well, there is actually as well, so make sure you remove the little access hatch from the back, and there's 6 screws. I might time lapse for this because the last thing you want to do is watch me undo, you know, 6 screws, and they don't always come out very easily, by the way. Comes off, yeah. Oh, right, so the switch does look like, I can't see where it attaches right now. Oh, but the switch attaches somewhere under the RF shield, so that's something else I'm going to have to take apart. I am just going to pull these wires off. You know me, I would unsolder them, but this case and the switch have both seen better days, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to hook them off, by the way. I've not actually got any snippers on me, so just remove them. Let's put this out of the way. That's not going back on that existing case. And let's just see if we can get the RF shield off this one. You know, again, this is not a tutorial, by the way. This is just me figuring it out as we go along. I have fixed a few of these, so I'm not completely, you know, oblivious to it, but I'm just going to take things out as I go along. Don't forget as well, when you're doing the same thing, sometimes you're best off just taking pictures of it before and after, because most of the screws in the NES are actually the same. It's just sometimes they're either a different colour or a different length, and it can throw you off a bit. So let's move on. Any more? Again, you know, your camera's kind of away from me, so I'm just, again, not a tutorial, just follow me what I do. This is, oh, let's take it back edge. I do look really red, by the way, on camera. I'm not this red in real life. I don't know why it is, but I'm under the really bright lights of my kitchen, so I think it makes me look really red, or the camera, or both. So, and I can't do any post-production this because you kind of follow me a bit live. I will be playing some music over this, obviously, and putting the credits in, so it's not completely live, but I can't do any like live colour changing stuff. So I know I'm completely facing away from it, but that's pretty awkward, this. So the RF shield's got about 6 or 7 screws. 6, 7. But I'm just taking them out. As you can see, nearly there. I hope you're still staying tuned in for this. I might time lapse through some of this because I'm not sure you want to see me just taking screws out, figuring things out. There is another one there if you can see it, right behind, next to the heatsink there. So let's just see if the RF shield will come off. Have I missed any? Oh no, it's off. Oh god, we have to go even further with this. I'm going to have to take it apart anyway because I think the problem is, normally the flashing greyness is it's just not getting a connection from these old, you can see them from the back as well. They're like, they're the pins where the cartridge slot goes this way and the pins are there and it kind of bites on it, but when they get mucky after, you know, 40 years, whatever old this console is, they start becoming a problem. I'm just going to take a photograph, by the way, of some of these back screws because these back screws here, I don't know if you can see them very well on camera. Well, the back two, they're actually different colours, so I'll take a picture just so I know what order to go in. Right, just get them out. Again, this is going to be a mega long video unless I time lapse some of this, so we're already at 10 minutes and I'm nowhere near getting this thing apart, so I might time lapse some of this. And then I don't actually have to put it back together to test it. So I just want to figure out where these two wires actually go and see. I might have to get my soldering iron out and desolder them, you see. So it might be a bigger job than I thought. Or I could just pull them off gently, which I don't really want to do. And I don't think my camera's set up for you to see me doing fine soldering because it's two cheap old webcams you've got right now. So as you can tell, that one's the worst one. And that one's the second worst. So unfortunately I'm not professional yet and I've not got any decent camera equipment. I'm going to look at a GoPro, but if anyone's got any decent camera suggestions where I can use them as a webcam and like an action cam as well, that would be appreciated. Sorry, I'm nearly done. It's very hard to do this at the angle now. Nearly there. And this is just really removing the tray and the connector. The connector just pushes on, but this black tray kind of holds it in place. Actually, probably the easiest, if you're going to learn to repair a console, this is probably, obviously, it's 40-year-old hardware, probably the easiest to learn to fix, really, I would say, if that's where you want to start. So I'm just going to face it me a minute while I pull that off. I think I've got anything else on it. No, that's off. And just kind of, if you look, just pull it forward off the connector. Oh, right. So I don't know if you can see that. I still don't know what this mod does. I think it's probably sound, but if you can see that there, that wire, it goes to the traces that are there. I actually don't know where they go, but they're actually not connected very well, so I'm just going to gently remove them. I don't think a soldering iron is needed for this one. Just, I don't know if you can see that actually. Yeah, there you go. Obviously, if a bit more professional, I would have desoldered them, but you know, you won't be able to see this very clearly. I'm going to try and show you on this webcam here, but they're not really soldered on very well. They're just really, what's the word? Yeah, and I've not made contact with anything else by the looks of it, so there we go, that's off. So I don't know what that did. I mean, leave in the comments below if you know what that did. I reckon some probably kind of sound mod. There wasn't really any video mods back in the 80s, and that was an original mod, I think. Right, so the next step is just to take the full board out, and there's not many screws left holding it in actually. I think if you give it a wiggle, I think it's only what I can see is this one here, which is kind of the RF shield. Not the RF. Yeah, I think not the RF, they call it, is it the RF? It's the input. Just repeat myself, yeah, I think it's just the input. The video input and the power module. But look, I can't see anywhere else. It's screwed. No. Okay. Let's see if oh, there's one more on this one. On the other side of the RF shield. That's probably all that's holding it in them two then. If you still stay this long, well done. This will be boring to most, I reckon, but hopefully someone's interested in watching me fix this. Right, the board is out. And I'm going to pause the video for a second because what I'm probably going to do is quickly, I'm going to go and chuck this in a pan of water while I give the rest of it a clean up. And if you've never done the boiling trick, you take the edge connector off. I'm going to show you that now. It just slides on. There is screws in it, but the kind of the screws are a part of like the full assembly, so they're kind of multi-purpose, if that makes sense. They hold a few things in place, but if you just pull that off, full edge connector, you can buy a new one of these, but you are best just cleaning the original because apparently, well, not apparently, I know for a fact that that's just a connector off. The new ones, the grip really difficult and they're really hard to get games in and out, and they're just not as good as the original ones. So I'm going to chuck that in a pan of boiling water, and I'll cut to a video clip of me boiling that shortly. If you need instructions, there's loads documented online as well, but I think you chuck it in a pan of boiling water for 15 minutes. Don't worry, not going to break it, it's just going to clean the pins really enough to make a contact. And then my next job is get out my toothbrush, and some isopropyl alcohol. But before that, let's cut over to the cooker, and we're going to boil that pin. Right, and I am back. This is after 15 minutes in the pan. Give it a good stir. Delicious. And then take it out, put it on the kitchen side. Be careful, don't touch it for a while. And I have got a pot towel here, mancure towel, but I'm just going to leave it to cool down for a bit and then probably give it definitely give it a decent dry. Right, while that's doing that, I am going to clean this edge connector up. So just you can, I mean, to be honest with you, sometimes I'm not very gentle with this kind of stuff. I just put as much on as you need it. Isopropyl alcohol is made for cleaning boards like this, so you know, especially this edge connector that looks like it's seen better days, just give it a good scrub. I'm not actually moving this board out of its place because it's got the wires still connected and they're quite fragile, the ones at the front for the controller, so I'm going to leave them alone basically. So if you can see how thin they are there. Ooh, see them there. They're really thin then, so I'm just going to give this edge connector a bit of a clean. Move it towards the camera a bit. Really. Oh, I love the smell of isopropyl alcohol. Does that make me an alcoholic? I don't think so. But whatever you do, try not to inhale too much of this, and definitely don't be drinking it. Do look really red today again. Anyway. Well, let's just do both sides because the connectors are dual-sided connector. So I'm just gonna. I don't really want to remove that shield because I know it's a pain to get back on. So I'm just gonna try and. You're not gonna see me do this properly. I'm just gonna do it underneath. This must be one of the OEM NESs, and it's got labels on that I've never seen before underneath. So I don't know if it means it's the original one or not. Like one of the first runs, I know they did different versions of them, if that makes sense. Right, that's clean enough. The next step is, I mean, you can really just clean the full board, but I don't really want to until we've got an idea that it's actually going to work, because we could be doing all this work for absolutely nothing, and it might be part of this. as I said yesterday in the other video, it was kind of thrown in. It was for spares and repairs, but most of the time, if they're in original condition like this one is, you can get them working. But I'm going to put that back. I'm just going to wait till that connector boils. Once the connector's clean and boiled, and I'll be back.
A few minutes later.
Right, so the connector is still in the pan, by the way. I've set the, I can't say the A word, but my Amazon device to 15 minutes, because that's all I do it for. What it does, it just softens the pins up enough for it to work. But what I have noticed is, if you check the camera, there's a bit of gunk in here. Just like, I don't know what it is. Gunk, that's what I'll describe it as. So, what I'm going to do is, just give it a clean really, just put a bit of alcohol in it and give it a wipe up, get in the little areas that, no point having any schmutz in it. And to be honest with you, this one was a bit stinking. I think that's probably what it was. It doesn't look like anything like cough or anything, but it's something like a bit of coke or something, I don't know though. And isopropyl alcohol, it kind of evaporates, so that's all you need to do really, give it a light clean. Make sure it's all nice, get that clean. You can get the isopropyl alcohol on anything really, it doesn't break anything electronic wise, so. But yeah, hopefully with this in it, because this stuff smells so strong, hopefully the smelliness of the whole console will go away eventually. Don't forget this is 40 odd years old this year, 1984 I think it was, or 85, so that's 40 years old. Last year it was, so. Right, gonna go and get the connector from the pan and I'll be back.
A few minutes later.
Right, I'm back and that is now nice and clean. And to be honest with you, the boiling doesn't just clean the connector, to be honest with you. It kind of softens up the pins again, which I think makes a better connection. So, well worth a go. It's completely free. Before you go buying a new one of these, please make sure you use the original one, because the new ones are rubbish unless they've been used 500-600 times. Always go with the original one. So let's try and get this back together. I have extensively dried this, by the way, since that last clip, because just make sure all the water's off it. Water and electronics don't go. You don't need me to tell you that. So, and throughout this whole process, please be careful. You're dealing with boiling water, you're dealing with electronics. Make sure you've done all the safety precautions, like make sure if you're working on the NES it's unplugged. Make sure you're using something to pick up this in and out the pan. Don't use your bare hands, because that is very, very bad. Anyway, let's continue. So I'm not putting this thing back together because sometimes that doesn't work, sometimes it needs a second clean, sometimes it doesn't work at all. The edge connector that I've cleaned here, sometimes doesn't come up that well. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this connector back on without putting the rest of it back together, and let's test the console. So basically all I'm going to do is, put this back on temporarily while I test it out. See if I've got a better connection, and then nice snug fit. It doesn't have to be backing, because it's not touching anything like that's going to make it short or anything, so we should be alright. Let's get the power back on and just see if it actually powers back up. Oh, I don't power it over at the back. I might have to try and drop this in a bit better because I can't get to the power plug. There we go. Let's whack that back in. Where is my AV cable? It is here. Can you see that? Let's plug that back in and let's see on the screen capture. Let's just see if we get any power first. Obviously you can see there's no game in it. Right, so it's just flashing grey like obviously you would expect. There is no game in it. I have actually picked some of the game up as well, because if you remember from one of my videos, the Barney's Blob worked straight away. So I'm going to use this as a test cartridge, because if I remember rightly, it worked really well last time. No, might have failed on this one. Let's try resetting it. So I know, make sure when you are testing you're using a decent known cartridge. So just have a fiddle, move it up and down a bit. No, nothing right now. Maybe we've failed in this task. Now I've done most of the basic troubleshooting. I might have to pause a bit and go and do some Googling, see if anything else can... Oh! Spoke too soon. Can anyone see that on the screen? I think it is the edge connector, maybe it just needs more of a clean. That is good progress. Let me just try a different game. Pretty sure that worked really well. It might be the fact that obviously I've not put the tray back on and the tray pushes the connector down to make a better connection, so let's try that. Oh! We're getting there with this. Definitely a connection issue somewhere. Just try and push that on a bit better. Right. Right, I'm going to pause the video for a bit and just give it another clean. You don't want to see him do it again, and then I'll be back.
Several days later.
Right, I'm back. Still no luck. So we do get an image on the screen, like the splash screen, but then it does the flashing where it's constantly resetting. And you can do the kind of lockout, it's called the lockout chip, where you cut one of the pins on the board and it stops it constantly resetting. But I'm just going to try something. And you know, please be confident in, well, if you know what you're doing, you can do this. I'm using a bit of a Brillo pad, which is like a wire well, they call it in America. Just going to take the power plug out and I'm just going to lightly, you know, if you look, give them a clean with this, because as long as you're gentle and you don't take off any like contact on it, these pins, you know, they're really old. And this is, I mean, please don't follow my advice, this is just stuff I've done in the past. This console really for me is only spares and repairs anyway, but I would actually love to get it working really. And when I say working, I mean reliably working, because neither of my NESs do that. So I'm just going to give the top and bottom just a light sand, or sand, wire wool, whatever you want to call it, just to take a bit of the dirt off, you know. Maybe give it a go with a toothbrush again, a bit of alcohol. Oh, not sure what that was. So I have got another spare edge connector here, by the way, which I have tried, and they're both equally as rubbish. So they're both original ones, by the way. Just I've got a full parts Nintendo in there that was when I used to reshell my other one, so I've got a few spare parts, but not enough. Right, that's that. Give that a clean and get some more alcohol just on my toothbrush. I'm gonna say, please don't leave the lid off this as well. I think it evaporates all the time. Let's give that another go. Maybe give it a dry as well. I'm not sure you want to keep the alcohol on when you turn it on. Maybe expose a few, you know, just get a bit more dirt off it really. Right, that'll do. Put the lid back on that for now. And give this a clean with my dirty rag. Right, let's get a connector back on it and we'll try it again. Well, follow me in real time, by the way. There's no promises that I can get this working reliably, or at all really. Maybe with a few hours worth of cleaning. That connector sounded a bit like, I can't describe it, sandy. Sorry, Tommy. The power plug on slow. A minute. Just gonna get some power to it again and let's see if we have made any difference. Again, I'm gonna try a boy in his blob, as I know that's the cleanest cartridge I own. Again, just a grey screen. Give us a break, Nintendo. It's getting worse. Right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to try this other connector. I don't like the sound of that one. Let's shut this on. Right. Again, I'm going to try and get this plate on properly because it keeps coming off. Right, we've got power, we've got that on. Let's try this. Sometimes just putting different pressures on it can help. I'm not sure, making it even worse here. Right, I'll be back again. I'm just going to give it another decent clean. I might have to give that connector one more boil.
A few minutes later.
Right, back again. I mean, you won't know because you won't see this change much really, but I'm just going to try a few different games and just see maybe if, you know, if it likes particular games or not, because don't forget, it's an old console. There's 48 pins it needs to connect. So if some of them are mucky, some of these are mucky, I've still not got the tools to open these, so something like that then as well. I'm not sure, you know, if it's the games, it's the console. Let's try it again. No. Not a lot going on, is there? Sometimes you can back them out a bit like that. No, this video is going to be very long. I hope people have stayed tuned to see the result. Let's try wrestling. World Techno. Let's say Temco then. Techno wrestling. No. That's clean at the back actually. Let's see if that does anything. I doubt it does. No luck. Struggling with this one. I knew it was mucky, but I'm not sure. I thought it was going to be this difficult to fix. Not giving up just yet though. Just doing a constant reset. I might have to do the lockout chip fix, which I'm going to try actually. Constant reset thing sometimes indicates that might be the problem. Yeah, let me try that. That's the next step, I think. Go and find my tools.
A few minutes later.
Right, I am back. It's quite a while now. I would say half an hour later, but what I did is both these connectors, like I said, I've got a spare. I boiled them again. Sorry, I've got a bit itchy nose. I boiled them again. So let's try it. So obviously I've just done this off camera. We are getting an image and it is a bit jumbled, but if you look, I can actually control it, which is crazy as I've never seen that before. So I don't know if it's a game that's dirty. And again, I've got nothing to clean the games with right now. I've not got the tool that takes it apart, but I'm gonna just keep trying, and I'm not gonna do this on camera because this video is gonna be about an hour long otherwise. But we have made progress. I did clean the heck out of the connector again, boiled the connectors. Might try and give it a few games a clean just by pouring some alcohol in them and, you know, maybe using a toothbrush. Oh, but again, we're getting a different result every time, which is a bit crazy. Oh, I might start, if you look now, I'm putting the pressure on using my hand. I might put the cartridge connector back on because that might just help it give it enough pressure to keep it down. So I'll be back shortly. I'm gonna stop recording. I'll be back very shortly.
A few minutes later.
Right, okay, I'm back and I found the tools I need. These are, I don't know what they're called, but I got them free. If you've ever had a 3D printer, you get these all the time, right? And this is not me remembering this mod off the top of my head. I'm gonna flick on my Google page and it's dead easy. It's literally, you're gonna find the lockout chip and you cut, I think it's pin number 4. So we're gonna do that now. Follow me. I don't know if you can see this very well, so bear with me because I've got to flip between screens. I'm about to take this shielding off. I'm just have it plugged in. Right. It's always easy ones you think are going to be The difficult ones are going to be easy. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, right, let's go over to this lockout chip. And let me look on my... I don't want to remove this completely because it looks like I've cut myself as well. Just be careful because they are, I don't know what I'm showing you there, they are sharp then. Anyway, so the lockout chip is, if you look at a picture online, it is this one here. I'm pointing to something I'm not sure you can even see. You cannot. So I mean, if you look here, could do with some better cameras here, but it's this chip here. And it's leg number 4, and all I'm going to do is, so it stops making connection, is give it a little snippy snip. But I have done this before, by the way. This is not my first rodeo with this one. So it is towards the plus 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you're not confident on this, I wouldn't do it because I don't think this is going to fix my resetting issue. I think this is more for mods, like when you want to play games from a different country and stuff. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a bit tricky this time. I'm scared of this one. This looks like a different revision than my last one, so I'm just going to double check that I'm looking at the right thing here. Connector, it is 1, there's that one, and it's the 4th pin at the bottom. Yeah. There's a lot more stuff in the way than the last time I did this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 8 pins once. If you're going to do something like this, always make sure you're double checking as well. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. It is, it's pin number 4, but I'm struggling to get to it as there's a resistor in the way. The last thing I want to do is break that off. Because I'm not in the mood for soldering tonight, and I'm also not that great at it either. Right, so I have snipped that. I'm not going to be able to show you on camera, but just trust me that I don't think that's making a connection anymore, to be honest. So, you know, the constant restart thing it does, I'm pretty sure it stopped, you know, the reset when it can't get a ROM. I think it does stops that. And last time I had a NES that was problematic, that did fix it, so. Right, that leg's not there anymore, so. Yeah, that is not making connection. Right, so let's get it back together quickly. Like, I might fast forward through some of this because this video is already going to be absolutely, you know, maybe an hour long, and I don't think you're going to watch an hour of it, so I'm going to forward through some of this. Let's put it back where it goes. Make sure as well you don't catch these cables because, like I said before, they're really brittle now. Obviously, they're old. They're also. I tried to find. I needed one of these connector ports for my other NES. So only actually on my other NES, only one of these ports worked because the wires are knackered, and I can solder, but they're that fine. I'm not really. I don't really want to solder them, so I was trying to find a new one, and the only new replacement part I could find was in Canada, and I don't want to pay 30 quid to get it sent over. 30 quid, you know, it was 30 Canadian plus probably 30 again postage, so I didn't want to pay that. So I was just going to wait for something like this to come up, but this one looks like it's possibly, fingers crossed, going to work. I'm going to try the OG, by the way, the original Mario Brothers. We've got power back in, we've got the cartridge in, hopefully the capture card's still working. So if you look, it's still a grey screen, which is not good, but it stopped doing the reset thing. But again, I just think it needs another decent clean. This is the muckiest one I've probably ever dealt with, to be honest with you. Right, I'm going to give it another clean because you don't want to watch that again. I'll be back.
A few minutes later.
Right, I'm back again. As you can see, right, I put the cartridge holder tray back in, and if you look, this game has never worked for me, and it started working again, but again, still slightly jumbled up. But I don't actually know if some of these games need cleaning, so let's just go through the process of my NES collections in a box just behind me. I'm going to start getting some games with you on screen, and let's see what actually works or not. You can see on camera the process of it, because I've not actually put any screws back in this, by the way, so I'm just kind of holding it in place. Bear with me. I'm not going to use some of them that I know are really dirty, but let's try the one I tried first. We're going to try Super Mario 3. Oh, I'm shutting the camera and you can't even see. There we go, Super Mario 3. Let's try that one. Can't do this one-handed because you've got to hold this tray in place. Some proper repair technicians are probably going, "You're doing it wrong." I know. I'm just doing process of elimination. So if I just keep, again, don't know if it just needs a new edge connector because we can play it here. Obviously I can't. It's not really playable because the graphics are all glitchy, but I'm going to try another game. Every single one so far has got the same symptoms, so I would say it's probably the edge connector, and I am probably going to order a new one right now, but it's going to have to be off camera now because it will take a few days to arrive. Let's try Super Mario Brothers. Same result. Some of these games have not worked before though, so I do think we're just going to have to get a new connector. Let's keep going now, let's try more. And then I would say most of these are slight wins. This is Mario and Duck Hunt together. See there. I might just try screwing this back together because you might find the extra pressure of the screws just here make it work. Oh no. Not that one. Try opening it. No luck with that one. Like I said, I've been fiddling with this off camera for about half an hour while it has been boiling, just to try and clean it up, see what's going on. Right, let's move on. Any more games? No. So just move my laptop out of the way. I've got one more. I'm gonna go to my box of goodies in a minute and keep trying a few more. Again, that works great. I've had none that actually work perfectly yet though. So I would say definitely the NES maybe has seen better days. For me as well, you can't see this, but possibly there's a huge blob of solder there. I think this has been repaired at some point, hence why it had a little switch on it. No idea what the switch did. It might have been a regional lockout switch looking at it, but I don't know. But I'm just going to pause the video for a minute again and grab some more games. Right, so I've got a few more, but I'm just going to keep trying. All of them have got the same symptoms, so what I'm probably going to do is, for the rest of the video, put this console back together and then order a new edge connector. I just don't like things being sat around in pieces. I'm trying to keep the house tidy as well, so there you go again, World Cup's working. Yeah, I can play, just gobbledygook graphics. I might give it one more clean before I put it back together. Let's try this one, I got this the other day. Never even seen it switched on yet. This looks in really good condition though, in fairness. This is one that came with this console. Ooh, it works still. Right, keep going, I'm just going to keep going. Why not? Let's try Tetris. This one, looking at it, is a bit mucky, but yes, we're working. So we know most of these games work, it's just this NES itself is a bit finicky. Oh, I think I broke it completely now. Maybe just Tetris, like I said, Tetris is really mucky. Right, not that one. Let's try goal. The goal game. Press it down. I'll make sure this connector's seated properly. No, not that one either. Try it with it open. Right, keep going. A couple more, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to button this up for the night because I think I'm just going to order an edge connector and kind of do a short to update you on its progress. Yeah, so some of these games I got from this console collection, so a lot of these came with this console and they're really mucky, so I assume they're the ones not working properly. Let's try another copy of Stealth. Right. And again, most of these games probably need a good clean, so it might not work. Yeah, no more. That is it. Well, I've got some more in the collection, but there's no point in keep testing it. Right, join me again shortly. I'm not going to finish the video yet. I'm just going to put this back together, put a few screws in it, and test it one last time.
A few minutes later.
Right, okay, welcome back. I'm going to have to finish this video for today. I'm not going to finish the end of the video. You're going to join me on a different day, because what I'll do tonight is I'm going to order a new connector, because I can get games working, they're just graphics all over the place, and everything points to both my connectors. They feel really loose, you know, like chucking a hot dog up an alleyway, if you know what I mean. So I think they both need replacing, basically. So join me in a few days and we'll come back and we'll try and get this bad boy. As you say, it's not working again. We'll try and get this bad boy working. So I'll see you in a few days. Oh, it's working. I'll see you in a few days.
Several days later.
Right, welcome back to the video. Well, we're about 4 days on. For you, it's only a few seconds, but we are on Saturday evening, and I think it was Tuesday I ordered this, but look what I've got in the post. This is a brand new edge connector, and again, I did recommend you don't buy these because they grip the game really tight, but I mean, I've got no choice at this point. I've cleaned everything to within an inch of its life, and it's still not working, so let's crack on with it. There's only these, well no, there's 6 screws to take out, so I'll time-lapse this because the video's really long as it is. Let's go. Right, okay, that is loose, so let's just pull the trays. The tray's only 6 screws, so let's pull it off. Pull off this original edge connector. I have screwed the board back in, so I might not be able to get this off without taking them screws out yet. I'm going to have to take them 2 screws out, the ones that are in the RF shield. I just need to, you basically need to lift the board up enough just to kind of leverage it out, leverage the connector off. Thank you for everyone, by the way, who joined into my last video. We're doing really well again, so the NES quest will continue next week. I've got a pickup, by the way. You're not going to see it till next week. I'm not going to tease it, but it's on its way, and you'll see that in my next week's video. Right, okay, let's get this edge connector off. Use it, put that to one side so I remember which one's the old, the new one. Put that on the floor. And here is the brand new one. Should go on easy enough, but like I said, they just grip the cartridge really well. Oh, bit of sausage fingers me today. Right, there we go. And I'm not going to put the, in fact, I'll just put that back on it. Put the tray back on just for now. It's quite hard sometimes to get this back on, by the way. Like, I think that the new parts are a bit chunkier. Struggle with this. Oh, there we go. There we go. It kind of goes over the edge connector into the slot. There we go. Right, no screws right now because I just want to test it. So fingers crossed. We are working now. First time round. That is really like, if you want to pull that cartridge out now, that would take 2 hands. Let's have a go where we're at. Oh, again, so it has worked straight away, but the graphics a bit mumbled. Let me try it without popping the tray up. See, I don't know what that issue is, to be honest with you. Like, this console should be fully working now. Everything's been cleaned. I might have to do a bit of research on this. Let's try a different game, actually. Back shortly. Sorry, there was in the game box. Let's try goal. So we've still got, maybe I failed in this quest. The first one I failed to fix, I think. Again, it might be the cartridge, it might be the game, who knows. Let's make sure it's all pushed in properly and try again. See, I know this binding blob works well because you've seen this in the previous videos and it works on my personal NES. It's worked first time every time. And even that one's a bit flaky. Let's try it again. Let's try binding blob. I do need to clean these, maybe that is the next step, but that'll be in a different video, I think. In between me standing up and getting a game and coming back, it's not working again, so just gonna pause the video again and let me give it another scrub. You don't want to see this 3 or 4 times, bear with me.
A few minutes later.
Right, I'm gonna take a different approach. 1 second, let me shut the door behind me. Different approach. I've got some of these from the bathroom. I don't know what they call them in America, but we call them earbuds, cotton buds. I actually only scrubbed last time with a toothbrush. So I'm going to see if these, you can just see if you lift any dirt off with them, you see on the connectors. If you look, give the connector a clean. If you look, it is, I don't know if you see that, that is mucky. You know, so isopropyl alcohol alone doesn't clearly work. I have put some more alcohol on this edge connector, by the way, so let's just try and get the muck off it and try again. I'm not giving up on this just yet. Yeah, again, let me try the other side. Unplug it. That side actually looks way more dirty than the top one, so let's give that a good clean as well. You're not going to see this on camera, I've got it facing towards me, but let me see if I can adjust the view actually. So with my dead professional setup here, I've got a USB webcam sellotaped to a brush. As you can see, this is the brush handle here. But I'm just bringing you in for a better view. So I'm going to put some alcohol on using the toothbrush, like this. Give it a good scrub, and then let that dry for 1 second. It does evaporate pretty quick, isopropyl, so that's pretty clean on that side. I know, can you see that on the camera? Still mucky. I mean, that's not a lot of dirt, by the way. Everyone thinks that's only minute, but I have seen that stop the console working before. Don't forget the NES is celebrating 40 years this year, so 1985. Oh no, it must be 1986, obviously. Duh. Right, that has got, I can see it on the webcam, tons of muck on it. Try it again. Yeah, these are earbuds, cotton buds. Work really well actually. If you've got any of these, or if you're not got any, worth getting some. I think that's as clean as it's going to get. One more go with it, I'll call the back. See, I've cleaned the front a lot more, so this one needs a bit more of a go. Put the lid back on the alcohol so it doesn't evaporate. Right. Again, still dirt coming off that. You can't see that in one, can you? But oh, I made that worse. There you go. Anyway, you get the gist of it. I'm just cleaning the dirt off, and if you can see again, it is pretty mucky that. What am I doing here? Why can't I see the camera? There you go. That is pretty. Look at that. That's the third clean as well, but that should be enough at this point. One last go. Keep saying that. It's going to be a very long video this, by the way, so if you are still watching, well done. If you fell asleep, I don't blame you. Sometimes. Oh, you can actually see the corrosion coming off it. You can see that, but that's darker there at the bottom, and then at the top there's some corrosion on it there. So let's work it all off. Should be it now. That should be enough. It's full of muck. Right, that'll do. Right, I'm going to pause it while I reassemble the NES. You don't want to see that again. I'll be back again shortly. Right, I'm back, and you join me about 20 minutes later, and I give up. I give up. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm going to do a short after this video, but I am defeated by this NES. I have cleaned it to an inch of its life. I've checked. I did a bit of a continuity test on some of the capacitors. You know, you can feel if they're warm or not. You can see the game's working, but everything's a bit jumbled, so I would just assume it's some dirty contacts, but I have cleaned it with an inch of its life. So I'm going to finish this video here. We're going to call this one a fail. If I do spend more time on it and get it working a little bit better, because I mean, as you can see on the capture there, it is working. But not as it should. Again, I don't know if it might be the games, it might be every single game I've got mucky. I've not tried them all, but I've tried about 15 games. So thanks for watching, thanks for staying tuned. I'm sorry it wasn't a better conclusion, but again, if I do fix it, I'll do a quick shot on it. But thank you for joining in. Thank you for tuning in to Weekly Retro. Please like and subscribe. All the views recently have been really appreciated, and I'll see you all next week. Right, okay, I know I've just signed the video off, but I've got an update. It's actually working quite regularly now. If you look, it's just jumbled. So it might be the PPU, which is the processing unit, but I don't know. I can't really do any more cleaning for this. I thought, do you remember it came up with a switch on the front? I thought maybe there was some soldering joints where I just pulled them off and it broke, but I've cleaned that up and it's not that. So, you know, if I've got an update in the future, I will let you know. But for now, as you can see, I've made it a bit bigger on screen just for you to see. And some of it's all right, but then you get to that screen and there's no text or anything, but the characters are all right. I would say we're 98% there. I'll update you again on the short if I manage to fix it, but thanks for watching and see you later.